It is Relic Knights week here on beastsofwar.com, and we have some fantastic prizes up for grabs. 5 in total. First up, we have 4 two-player starter bundles to give away to get you and a mate into the game. These will include 2 starter factions of your choice with the rules you need to play. We then have our 5th prize, which is a bit of a special one. You will win an expanded 2-player starter bundle, again, of the factions of your choice with the rules you need to play, but on top of that, you will get to work with the design team at Ninja Division to design a brand new miniature for Relic Knights. For your chance to win, get your comments in on any of the themed content this week on Beasts of War, YouTube or Facebook. Stay tuned and enjoy the week. Hi guys, welcome to Relic Knights week here on Beasts of War. I'm of course joined by John from Ninja Division, and today I want to talk about organised play and tournaments for Relic Knights.
Yeah.
So how do you actually, say I was in my local area, I wanted to get a tournament on the go. What's my first step here?
Well, first step is you go in and check with the local game shop. Local game shops sometimes employ the use of our Ninja Corps, which is our volunteers. Those guys are really great at organizing and running events for Ninja Division products, including Relic Knights and Super Dungeon and all of that. On the outside, if you want to run an event yourself, you have access to rule sets that we make available online for both league and for tournaments. Or through your retailer, they can order an organized play kit like one of these, which includes printed rules manuals, and includes sheets as well as collectible patches for each of the different events that you participate in. And as you see, you can collect up to 7 patches. Kind of forms a cool little design, and
nice.
It's very, very Relic Knightsy for those who like to do that.
Yeah.
So right now we only have 3 of them out. We currently do the Dark Space Rising as sort of a central patch for everybody to collect. We've done Endless Hunger, Knighthood, and Establishing Order. Still waiting for the Codebreaker, Scholarly Pursuits, and Kate's Curse. So those have all been written and are in progress, and they're just cool mission packs that give you alterations on how to build your armies and let you play at different levels.
Nice, very nice. Well, I mean, like, say I want to actually become one of the Ninja Corps. Is there a certain channel I need to go through to do that?
Pretty straightforward. Our website, ninjadivision.com, has an application you fill out and send in. And it just covers the basics, like what kind of stuff do you like to play of ours? And, you know, do you have photos of your armies? You know, do you want to focus entirely on some of our card games? Or do you want to play Super Dungeon? Or do you want to do Relic Knights? Or even if you have a knack for doing costumes, we really like cosplayers participating as well. And we have a Soda Pop Girls program that we do for, you know, female cosplayers who want to come and do work with us as well. You know, so we love all of that, and we make use of our volunteers on trade shows. We love having them out, and we have a good time when we go. For the volunteers, once they've kind of locked into a product category or something that they like to do, once approved, they can sign up and do sanctioned events at local shops or even at clubs. And once we approve them, your time and energy spent in promoting, you know, our games and our hobby abroad will net you some really cool rewards. I mean, as part of the team, we're going to send you toys, we're going to send you prize support. I mean, it just depends on the scale of the event and what you want to do.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, you see, it's nice to see that there's an openness between you and the guys who are actually, you know, out there on the front lines bringing the game to people. It's a very, very nice thing. Now, as to the types of tournaments that I can run at my local store, what would you advise, say, for someone running their very first tournament at their store, trying to get their mates in and up and running in Relic Knights?
The perfect kit is actually the Establishing Order kit. It's a very, very simple rules kit that just outlines a basic tournament format. It gives you instructions for how the lists are going to be built. It lays out all the scenarios of play, and it tells you this general format for setting up, playing, and awarding all the participants who come and do their games. And that includes everything from how to set up the tables and terrain suggestions and, you know, following a lot of the guidelines that are already in the book, because it's already built out to be a fairly well-matched competitive play game.
That is one thing I've wondered. For the gameplay, now you're playing on a 3x3 space.
Yep.
How tight would you say your terrain needs to be? How dense would you like to set it up?
A good recommendation is that for every square foot on the table, you try to get 2 or 3 good-sized pieces of terrain, at least 8 inches in size. And we like to vary the levels as well. Blocking line of sight, of course, is important in a game that doesn't have ranges, as well as being able to ascend and you know, move up and down levels of play. It also makes it more cinematic. In our games, it's not a huge effort to really shamble up the side of a building. We want our guys leaping from platform to platform and doing really cool cinematic stuff, because this is an anime-themed game. And I can't remember the last time I didn't see an anime where guys were flying across the room and doing things.
Yeah. Well,
Seems to be a thing.
Trust me, I watch my fair share, and it's always just
zipping around the skies, swinging from building to building,
Yeah.
chopping, a giant in the neck or something.
There you go.
Which is always just a good time in a can.
Right.
Now, as to actually helping people get into the game, there's one thing you guys do which I think is absolutely fantastic, and that's the Relic Knights companion app.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I've got a few images that you've given me here, so if you can talk me through what we're seeing here. So,
You bet.
what are we seeing right here on this?
Our companion app is essentially a central hub for Ninja Division stuff. And we focused on Relic Knights as being kind of the first product we wanted to push through that. It's got a couple bugs to flesh out, but we're going to have this all ready to go, re-released for the 1.5 release of rules and set for Void Break. So all of the new content is going to be made available. Now what we do here after going through the main screen is we progress to the guts of the product, which is the first thing you're going to get is access to a digital rulebook. So that's a fully digitized, updated version of the rulebook. It's dynamic. You can go into words, you can word search, you can look for stuff.
So if there's a rule coming up or a keyword in a rule that I'm not sure of, I can sort of drill in deeper and actually see
I
what
get
it's
to
all
dive
about?
in and be like, what is knockback? And I get to go right to that page. It's going to give me the definition for it. I'm going to be able to search around and find the things that I need.
Okay.
So for a quick reference, that's a fantastic thing to have.
Very, very useful.
Yeah. As it says, our visuals are interactive. If you want to map a player card or something to that effect, it's going to pop out and show you different elements so that you can really dive into it, not just a picture that you can look at.
Next up, what's this?
This is basically a fiction hole. So every time we're writing stories, sometimes a lot of our fiction kind of gets spread around and we put some up on social media or goes to a website. As we write fiction, we're going to add it to our sort of internal library. This is stuff that exists in our current rule books. As we get new rule books, we're advancing storylines. And so you're going to want to be able to go to and read about, different characters and factions and whatnot.
So it's a personal digital library for all things Relic Knights at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Absolutely awesome. Next up, one of the most important things.
Oh, well, this is definitely an important thing. We make cool models. We want people to paint them. That'd be really great. We want to inspire people not only with galleries of all of the miniature stuff that's been worked on by our studio guys, of which we have amazing painters, but we want to be able to provide tips and color guides and things for you to go from so that you don't have to hit a wall when you're painting your No or your shattered sword. It's like, how do I paint white armor? Or how does this thing work? So, we've had some great people put into this before, and, guys like Dave Taylor and some others who have, done little painting guides for setting up and doing your own, your own cadres.
Yeah.
So, we hope that's going to be helpful, and we look forward to adding more content in the future.
Awesome. And the final thing, the key component.
The biggest part.
Absolute key component.
This is the one you're going to use all the time.
Yeah.
So one component of this is basically your in-game tool. This is a build your own army list style thing where you actually get to look at images of the cards, check out the rules, build the lists, score your points, and save your army lists. And so you're going to always have on hand, it's like, I made my cool Black Diamond Fly Swatter army list, and it's 50 points, and it's got these guys in it, and I can always call it up when I play. And then when you play, you can activate a game, and the digital dashboard allows you to actually utilize a virtual version of the paper dashboard that you would normally use. So in addition to being diceless, you can actually go paperless. You can sit there with a tablet and just kind of wick it around and move your cards around. You can track damage, you can track Esper held and things like that. Score points as you play. You can put in your scenario objectives so it knows what's going on. And it's kind of an all-in-one tracker, and it works really well.
Now, do you allow this to be used at tournaments, yeah?
Absolutely.
Okay, I wanted to check that because for actually practicing for a tournament, I see this as being a great tool because I can be playing game after game against my mates. Instead of constantly having to work out my cards, I can bring up my list and go, okay, so I played against the No Empire last week. This unit didn't really work so well, so let's trade that out, put a new one in, let's test that. Okay, I've now tailored my list for my tournament. I'm happy to take this. I think it's going to be great.
Oh, for organized play, this is an ideal tool. And really, the nice thing is that in addition to this, the tracking methodology, it gives you a visual representation of everything on the board as you would see it if you were playing the game. The only thing that it omits, and it omits quite on purpose, is the card drawing aspect of the Esper deck. We wanted to make sure that was actually a physical component of play, that the flipping and the holding and the using of your Esper cards is something that you're actively doing. So in a tournament setting, we've even talked about, since it's non-customizable, just trading decks with your opponent and then both of you playing off of that.
Well, you see, that idea I like, because with this being a non-customizable deck, there is a chance that, I'm not saying people will do this, but there's a chance.
People play games, they won't do that.
Well,
it just happens.
You get what I'm on about. Someone's
yeah.
going to fiddle with their deck. So actually saying, you trade decks with your opponent, takes less of a chance of that. Yeah. Honestly, I would be very tempted to do, say you ever have a Relic Knight Masters tournament, have it that whenever they arrive at the tournament, they get a fresh one.
Oh, yeah. That's definitely something we've talked about doing. So when we're looking at world tournaments and that kind of thing, that everybody gets a fresh kit, and in that is going to be a fully set deck, so there's no questions about, whether you're using, the right materials for the game.
Well, I really love how this is looking and coming together. I love the idea of organized play for this game because I think it's going to bring a lot of people together, let them have a lot of fun. Is there anything else you want to talk about for organized play and such?
For organized play, no. But I would say that we're opening up to new ideas for formats when we're playing larger tournaments to include even multiplayer tournament tables. So 3 and 4 player games. We do want players to experiment with multiplayer games because they're actually a lot of fun. And when you're doing alternating activations and people are moving around the table, your multiplier for how you're utilizing movement, strategy, and tactics
and that
goes
actual
up quite a
cue,
bit.
Suddenly, the way you lay stuff out, it goes exponential.
Well, you're now watching 3 or 4 players do the same thing, but it works. It works really, really well.
Yeah,
so it's not kludgy at all.
Yeah, well, I mean, like with the way the game actually runs, I can see it. It won't slow it down. It just makes it more tactically deep. Guys, drop me a comment below. Would you play Relic Knights with 3 or 4 players against you? I think it could be a lot of fun. We'll move on, and we'll see you in the next video.